As the dim dawn light that enveloped the imperial palace gradually receded, the last echoes of moonlight faded coldly over the stone walls. At that moment, a woman's nimble silhouette appeared at the edge of the wall. Her long hair shimmered silver as she gracefully leapt over the wall, landing as if in a dance.
Phew.
A small sigh escaped her lips, tinged with relief and subtle pride.
At this rate, it might be faster than using the main gate.
Suddenly, a cry rang out from the darkness.
Who goes there?
It was the voice of a guard on patrol. The tip of the spear in his hand glinted in the moonlight.
It's me.
The woman's reply was simple, but the authority in her voice was clear.
Princess Valentina?
The guard's eyes widened in surprise. He glanced around and lowered his voice.
Your Highness, where have you been at this late hour?
Valentina smiled and shrugged elegantly.
Is there anywhere in the Empire I cannot go?
The guard was momentarily speechless, his expression mixed bewilderment and respect.
Your Highness? But why over the wall? Isn't it dangerous?
You seem newly appointed. I'm returning from a covert task ordered by the Empress Mother. It happens often, so take note.
But why wouldn't Her Majesty the Empress assign such tasks to subordinates?
Valentina's gaze sharpened, her voice became firm.
How impertinent. I never gave you permission to question me.
My apologies.
The guard tensed, realizing his mistake, but as the princess's gaze turned skyward, he too looked up. A massive shadow appeared above the palace. It approached smoothly, yet imposingly.
That's...
The sight before the guard's eyes was overwhelming. A colossal black dragon, seemingly bearing scars of war, spread its wings towards the palace. The sight evoked both fear and awe. Valentina's violet eyes sparkled, and a joyful whisper escaped her lips.
Finally, you've returned.
The guard's face paled, his voice trembled as he spoke.
Your Highness, that's a terrifying undead dragon. How fortunate that His Majesty the Emperor can control such a monster. I daren't imagine if he couldn't.
Valentina smiled gracefully at the guard's fearful words. Her golden hair, streaked with pink, fluttered in the night breeze, her eyes still fixed on the enormous creature in the sky.
Undead? Yes, I suppose it would appear so to most. The dragon is alive.
Miss Pardon.
The guard looked up at the sky again in confusion, his face etched with perplexity. Valentina handed her empty bag to the guard, her movements graceful, yet tinged with undisguisable excitement.
Give this to my handmaiden Melly. She should be waiting for me in the southern garden of the palace by now.
But Your Highness, if His Majesty the Emperor finds out.
The guard's voice was filled with concern. His hands trembled slightly as he took the bag. Valentina's eyes twinkled mischievously. As she waved and ran off, she called back.
You understand? I'll reward you handsomely for keeping a princess's secret.
The guard stood frozen in place, his mind in turmoil.
A living dragon, but it was clearly undead.
Atop the highest tower of the imperial palace, Princess Valentina's golden pink hair fluttered in the cold night breeze. Her violet eyes followed the massive shadow crossing the sky. The undead dragon landed near the palace. Its appearance was ghastly. Bones protruded through decaying flesh, and an aura of death emanated from its tattered wings. Madness and hatred flickered in its glowing red eyes. The dragon's voice was indistinct, but the violent impulse within was clear. As it growled threateningly and raised its foreleg, an invisible force seemed to envelop it. Its movement suddenly stopped, as if bound by transparent chains. The raised leg trembled in midair before slowly lowering.
It's time for Father to have retired from official duties. It seems his authority extends even in his unconscious state.
Valentina observed this scene calmly. Her face showed no sign of agitation. She simply gazed at the undead dragon with composed eyes. Without flinching, she said,
Calm down. I've come to meet you.
She raised both arms, and a bright radiance blossomed from her fingertips. The light spread like mist, enveloping the surrounding space. The dragon howled as if in pain. Suddenly, a path of brilliant light opened before Valentina. Beyond it, a mysterious world where space and time seemed distorted unfolded, and Valentina's heart began to race. Her golden pink hair fluttered in the night breeze, and her violet eyes sparkled with anticipation. Then, a man emerged from the light. Long white hair flowed elegantly over his shoulders, and he blinked slowly, as if waking from a long dream. His gaze wavered unfocused, then suddenly became alert as his deep, mysterious eyes slowly scanned the surroundings. His eyes were a deep, mysterious blue. However, a golden radiance subtly emanated from within that blue abyss. It was a mystical hue, like sunlight reflecting in the depths of the sea. The man's lips moved slightly, and a soft, low voice flowed out.
But where am I? Why am I?
The man slowly raised his head, finally fixing his gaze on Valentina. A golden flash crossed his blue eyes, tinged with confusion and faint memories.
Jaina?
At that gaze, Valentina unconsciously drew in a breath. Sensing the uncertainty in the man's voice, she took a moment to compose herself before responding calmly. Her voice was steady, but a subtle tremor of deeply hidden emotion could be detected within it.
No, that would be my mother, Queen Jaina. I am Princess Valentina.
The man's eyes widened in surprise. His sharp features became more distinct in the ethereal light.
Jaina? Is queen now? And you? How long was I?
Valentina took a step closer as she listened to his words. At that moment, his intense presence almost took her breath away.
Many years have passed.
After a moment of silence, the man slowly spoke.
How much has the world changed? Who rules the empire now?
Valentina lowered her gaze briefly before meeting his eyes again.
The empire is ruled by Emperor Tartanus von Kryzen, and he is my father.
He heaved a heavy sigh.
So the empire has found peace. I should remain asleep.
No!
Valentina cried out urgently, unconsciously reaching for his arm before stopping herself. A look of puzzlement crossed the man's eyes. That gaze made her heart waver.
I came to save you. We need you.
The man's eyebrow raised slightly.
Me? Why wake a specter of the past? The empire seems to be functioning well without me.
Valentina gazed at him with determination in her eyes, her small fist clenched tightly.
That's not it. I want to set everything right.
A bitter smile played at the man's lips. He furrowed his brow deeply, and weariness was evident on what must once have been a strong face.
Impossible. You know nothing.
His voice grew darker.
My body is already dead. It's a miracle my consciousness remains.
No.
Valentina continued in a strong tone while carefully observing his reaction. Her voice held both conviction and desperation. She tried to catch every nuance of emotion that crossed his eyes, every subtle crease of his brow, every small movement of his lips.
Hasty Cake Club, where every bite is a taste of sweet adventure. Ready for a more adventurous flavour in your life? Subscribe and taste the magic.